Welcome to the Realm Royale podcast. I'm your host, the Monty Mole, and tonight we are joined with DeathmatchTV. Thanks for being here with us, dude.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're back again, right? You were on the show
Second time.
second time. Yeah, so you're
Cool.
a returning veteran now. But I appreciate you taking the time to be here with us and just chat some about Realm Royale. I feel like there's been a lot going on with Realm Royale lately. Like we had a new
Yeah.
patch with OB20, and it seemed like there was a lot of changes that happened within OB20. Like a lot of people, like for the good. Like it wasn't just another patch, it wasn't just another battle pass. Like it seemed like they really listened to the community when they added in some of these changes. So I just want to talk about some of that tonight, but then also address like the three glaring issues that we always run into with Realm Royale, which seems, I'm calling it the three B's, which is like bots, bugs, and balance. Like those are the three things at least. And I don't know if maybe we agree or disagree on whether or not those are the three biggest things plaguing Realm, but it seems to be the three things that the community talks the most about. So just to kind of hash some of that out tonight and talk through like opinions on that and what we think Hi-Rez and the developers could do to try and improve that somewhat. So yeah, man. So what, I mean, initial thoughts on OB20, and have you been enjoying it, and what do you think about some of the stuff that they did with that?
So yeah, a lot of things happened since the last podcast, and all the things are great actually. So currently, the main thing, I'm not sure if everyone knows, but they changed the team for Realm Royale. So
Oh, like the development team.
yes,
Yeah.
and it was a great change. So now we have a hope, you know. So the
Now we
thing
have hope.
is, yeah. So the thing is, as far as I know, from people who are like in connection with Hi-Res,
Yeah.
uh, the team that were working on Realm, they went for another project now,
Okay.
another Hi-Res project, and those guys who now works on Realm, they came from Paladins, I believe. Uh,
Hmm.
and one of them is Andy. I don't remember the name of the graphics designer, I think, game designer, but the guy who fixed bugs and all this stuff.
Oh, Andy is
Yeah,
Hi-Rez. Is it Junku?
Junku, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I believe his name's
Yeah.
Andy. I think that's right.
Yeah. I call him Andy because I want to be like more more friendly with him, because
Yeah.
he's a great guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Because
I
he
want to shake. I want to shake his hand.
because he has all the power, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
All hail Andy. We love Andy.
yeah, and so they started to actually listen to the community,
Yeah.
and as far as I know, Alternate made a big text for them like many time ago, and some of the ideas already taken from this text, and he's like he knows what to add to the game
Yeah.
and how to fix all the things, and he's very how to say fair, so he will not, so he play assassin but he never blame Fire X,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
this is the
You're
pro
talking
mentality.
about alternate, the former Paladins pro, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. SK, yeah. So he told me that next patch will be even better than this one. So I'm very curious what will be in the next patch.
Interesting. And I'm assuming that
Yeah,
he knows some of the guys on the team just because I think he used to live in Atlanta and had close
yeah,
connections.
yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
And I play with him, so I know some information from him. Also, the new team, they started from the making the good balance changes, in
Yeah.
my opinion. Yeah. So I really don't care about battle pass or skins that much, but I think that they are just great. I
Yeah.
mean, like it's the best thing that Hi-Res do. The way it looks, Realm Royale, the game overall, is very beautiful in my opinion.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not that important, but it's also a good thing that we have a beautiful game. Like
Oh,
I'm more into
absolutely.
like gameplay
Yeah.
and competition, all this stuff, and balance. But when it's good to have good skins and beautiful map, all those. I think that right now we have some lack of new things on the map. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
well, it was the last time they changed made a big change for the map, it was Guntown, I believe, because
Yeah, yeah.
Jade didn't change that much.
And Crossing, and the last three I think was Guntown. They made an update to Crossing, and then they also
Yeah,
updated and added the forge out on the lake, out on Ice Lake. Which that what's that
yeah,
forge? What's that forge called?
yeah.
Is it
We
Ice
need
Haven?
more Ice Heaven. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
they added another forge in the lake. Yeah. So we need more changes to the map, I think, because people got used to this map and they're like a little bit tired of it. So I
Yeah.
think then the next big thing to change it will be map and the new things. My thoughts about OB20 is it's the best patch since the talent system patch.
Yeah. So
So the
since
talent
I
system
mean that was
patch.
January that they launched that, and I forget what that was. I think that was OB 16 or 17, maybe. I'm
I
trying to
don't
remember.
remember, but the talent system patch was great.
Yes, that was really
A
good.
lot of players came back
Now,
actually.
I want to go back to something because you said something that struck an interest in me, and I think some people in chat
Mm.
as well. Is so alternate create since alternate has such a strong connection, he created a list of ideas for them, right? And I'm assuming
Yeah,
because he
and they didn't care about that, as far as I know, when it was like last team.
when it was what.
All team, sorry. So all team didn't care about that text, as
Oh,
far
I
as I
got
know.
you. I got you. So like he's been submit. He has connections with High Res and the team there,
I'm
and
not gonna
so
say he's have a connections, but he just know where to send an email, you know.
yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha. Okay, but I
Yeah,
mean, he as a which is cool because as a gamer, like I mean, he
yeah,
obviously has experience playing at a high level, being a former pro Paladins player, and just plays a lot of games at a high level. It's encouraging to see that they're meeting with players to get feedback on ideas for the game.
yeah. It's actually what will make game great, in my opinion, because if
Yes.
you make it with, and they made a statement, they made official statement on their webpage that they're gonna communicate with the community
Yeah.
to make game better after they made a new team. So it's a great thing. I mean,
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like I agree with you that since some of these new people have stepped in to help with the game, and like, and this is nothing against the old guys, the old guard or whoever helped, lay the groundwork for the game, but it does seem like a lot of these new faces that we're meeting are making really great changes. Like they're really helping benefit, a lot of the things that we have been wanting to see because we've been talking about armor pots for forever. And it just seemed
yeah,
like it wasn't getting through. And then all of a sudden, OB20 comes out and we have more armor pots. Like
and it's great.
it's
I mean, like
fantastic. I love
it's
it.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just such a small change, but it changed the way game played so much
Yes.
and
Yeah, it did.
how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're talking about this. I mean, like, if everyone keeps saying that, give us more armor pots. I think the idea of devs that were before dev team,
Yeah.
that they were like, if we give more armor pots, it means like noobs will not win games because like armor pots will be prior for good players. I
Yeah.
think it was the idea. So, and I'm sure 100%, 100%, we have weapons like Stone Staff or Share only because they have idea that they need some easy weapons
Yeah.
for bad players to kill good players.
I gotcha.
So, and I think it's a good idea on public. I mean, like,
Yes.
there's nothing bad about this. So actually, I don't like all those players who blame Shredder because so it's super frustrating when somebody kill you with Shredder because it's do not require any skill.
Yeah.
Well, a little skill, okay, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you uh, see it from the dev side, it's a cool thing, that cool feature that the game have a weapon that gives noobs and new players opportunity to kill the good players.
Yeah.
So they will stay in the game because they will feel like they are good players, like they won the game.
Yeah. It's
It's one of
so
the things that makes them stay.
it's an entry way into just not getting destroyed, right? Like cuz obviously the game has been around for a year now, it's maturing. Like we want more players. Like we don't want people to
Yeah,
play not find success, not have fun. Like we want people to have fun and find success and stay in the game. And so I wanted to talk a lot about this tonight as is this idea of because I think a lot of the things that we're talking about like bots, but not necessarily bugs, but bots and balance, and just game design in general. There's like two pitted ideas that like appealing to casuals is like a horrible thing, or the competitive side, like you need a competitive game. And it seems like you have these two communities, that it's like the casual gamer and the competitive gamer. Like, how do you meet the needs of both? And I think that's a tricky thing for them. And then you throw in the mix of all the different platforms that everybody's playing on, and it gets even trickier. You know what I mean? So, like, some of the really good console players I've seen do extremely well against competitive PC players. Like in Realm League and some of these other opportunities in scrims. I think overall, obviously, there's benefits to playing on PC, but it's just this idea of how is Hi-Rez able to make and create a game that benefits both, but also offers opportunity to both groups of people so that the game is fun for everybody. Like not just the
Yeah,
competitive side, but also to the casual side. Because we want to onboard new people. We want to onboard new
yeah,
players. So, which is tricky, and I think that's kind of where this idea of bots, fitting in to the game. Bots or balance like Shredder and all these weapons that, kind of like how do they balance it? How do they design these weapons so that people on console and new players in the game can find some success without, getting discouraged? So, I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts on that idea of this whole casual versus competitive, and do we really need to pit the two against each other? Or like, how does that fit?
First of all, I'm not sure about Xbox players. I know some,
Yeah.
but I've seen PlayStation 4 screams, and I was impressed. They play really good. So, so here's the thing. The PC gives you so many options. First of all, it's display refresh, which is huge for FPS games.
Yeah, yeah.
So all the pro players, and I'm talking about the Realm, in the esports scene, they use 240 hertz refresh rate monitors,
Yeah.
or 144 at least,
Yeah.
and it gives you a big boost in FPS games. And everyone who is still playing on 60 refresh rate, they are like handicapped.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and
So you're saying that now I have an excuse, I need to upgrade, I have a reason to tell my
yes, it's
wife.
actually a real excuse, and it's you can always blame refresh rate. I mean, like if you get 144, you will feel the difference. You will
Yeah.
hit way more shots. That's just
That's
the
why I
way it is.
suck. I have a 60 hertz monitor. I need to
Yeah,
upgrade because then I'll be
you
good.
you will never have a huge aim on 60 refresh rate,
Yeah.
even if you are a gifted aimer.
Is it
Uh,
because you can see into the future with a better monitor?
Better monitor in the fights. It's more smooth. I don't know how to describe it. It's just way easier to land the shots on better refresh rate, and
Yeah.
you need to have at least 120, at
Gotcha.
least.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and also FPS, very important part of shooters. Actually, in Realm Royale, I don't find it very important because this game is designed for 150 FPS,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't see big difference in FPS. Like we have it, for example, in CS:GO or Quake.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So it's just not fair. So if a console player wins against PC player, it means console player is like super gifted player.
Yeah.
Like he's just very good. I mean, like it means like that he holds this game part. I don't know, since he was born or something
Yeah.
like this. Yeah, but overall they will lose because of the hardware, because
Yes.
they play on 60 refresh rate first of all,
Yeah.
and they cannot land all this, let's say, peak fights. So peak fights for
Mm-hmm.
them is bad. But yeah, like I said, I saw the PlayStation 4 screens, so the best players were playing, and I was impressed. Well, at least their game sense and understanding on a very high level. So
Yes.
it's I enjoyed to watch those screens. So it means like if Sony will make a crossplay, because right now I believe we have a crossplay with Xbox and Switch, right?
Yes, Xbox and Switch. PS4 is on its own servers, so there's no
Yeah.
crossplay simply because of Sony. That's nothing that Hi-Res can
So
do. That
Sony is like, I mean, maybe Sony is right in this situation. Let's think about it. Maybe Sony say to Hi-Res, "Hey guys, your game is still in beta. You
yeah,
have bugs, and we are Sony. We're a big company. You know,
yeah,
we care about our customers. So we don't want them to have like big bad experience
yeah.
of those things, servers and things like this. Maybe this is the reason. I don't know, but maybe when game will be not better. Maybe it's one year. I don't know. How many years more highly likely games right now are in the bed, stay in bed like 3, 4 years, I think.
Well, this is something that I've heard mixed reviews on because I heard that Fortnite was in beta for a long time too, and that a lot of people use this as a way to get around some of the hoops you have to jump through in order to get an updated game. Is
Yeah,
saying
but yeah, that's true. But I think that Paladins and Smite are not beta anymore, right?
I don't believe Paladins and Smite are. No, I believe that they're considered full release. But this is
Yeah.
why it's interesting is because Fortnite, somebody told me the other day, Fortnite is technically still a beta game. And I don't know if that's true or not, but somebody mentioned that to me that it's like Fortnite is still beta and they use that as a means of updating their game more frequently, that they're somehow considered to Microsoft and to some of these other platforms that when they relaunch a game that they approach full-fledged games differently than they do beta games. And I'm not sure how that fits in. That would be something I'd want to look into. But somebody told me Fortnite is still considered a beta game, which is insane to me. Like that, like some of the terminology in that is just, they're playing games with it.
Yeah, it's like same was with Dota too. They were in beta like for ages. I mean, like it's up to the company, but I believe Hi-Res don't do it for like ages. Like I
yeah,
think so Smite is I think not beta, and I believe Paladins is not beta anymore too. So
yes,
probably Realm will be not beta in like 1 year. I don't know.
yeah. Well, what's funny about that is like so for the Switch, so they launched it on Switch right before I think it was right before OB20 came out. And the interesting about that is I heard that Nintendo doesn't allow unfinished games in their shop. And so one of the things that they did was they gave like a pre-release sale in the Nintendo shop in order to get it early, and that was how like they were allowed to have this beta thing. But then they released it on the shop a couple weeks later and it's still in beta. So I guess like there are some looser rules there depending on depending on Nintendo's regulations or Microsoft's regulations or Sony's regulations. Like,
Yeah, I see. But as far as we see right now, Japan companies are very strict.
yes, yes.
Sony and Nintendo.
I mean, yeah, like they want a high quality game. They don't want to release, like unfinished, games like you said that are full of bugs that have crashing issues. And an interesting point in all that is that PS4 when it was first released was horrendously filled with bugs for Realm Royale. That was a lot of the reason that they said they needed to cancel the tournaments that they announced in February was
Yeah.
because you couldn't invite your friends, you couldn't even party with people, and it was like, how are we supposed to host a tournament when our game isn't working? So
But it happens not only with high-res games.
no, absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely,
like it's a common thing. I mean, like I think big companies have a lack of esports departments
yeah.
because let's check which company have a great esports experience. It's Valve, right?
Is what
Valve,
Valve?
the biggest esports company.
I mean, they're
Because
definitely
of
up
the
there, yeah.
also Riot, but they're like League of Legends. That's all. I think they don't have other games, right?
Yeah, I mean, Riot like is probably I would argue Riot is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, when it comes to esports. And I don't know, is CS:GO franchised? Because I know Riot, like, is technically, they created like a whole, they're trying to literally take their league and develop it into like what the NBA is, where they have franchises that own the teams instead of it being like,
Yeah, but Monty, when you say Riot, it's American voice, speak from you because
yes, yes,
it's very popular. League of Legends is very popular in USA, but when it comes to Europe, CS:GO
is
is still
king.
is like rocking,
Yes, yes, yes.
and all those ESL tournaments, the German organization ESL, all around the world, they still like big majors, and Dota 2, yeah, play. So Dota 2 is like a religion in Russia. I mean, like,
Okay.
and a lot of money in Dota 2. Like, if you want to be a professional esport player in Russia, you go play Dota 2 because even if you like not a very good player, you will get the money in tournaments, and so it's like the main game here, and nobody cares about Fortnite or League of Legends here. So it's like difference of the market. Also, Asian market, it's PUBG,
Yes.
for example, CS:GO is still is the thing. I mean, like CS:GO is overall the game that was around. I never been a big fan
Yes.
to play it, but I was a fan to watch some big tournaments. And the game is around on competition since like I don't know 2002.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like for ages. Yeah, definitely League of Legends right now is the biggest game.
Yes.
But Wolf have like both CS:GO and Dota 2, so it's like two big games. And as far as I know, they give the opportunity to anyone to run their tournaments, which is great. And I hope that we will have it in Realm
Yeah.
because they made a statement that customs. I saw the tweet from the employer of Harris that they will give custom service to everyone, which is
Yes.
great.
Yes.
It means like community can run the tournaments, and it's one of the biggest driver for our community because I came from Quake community, and in Quake everyone can make tournament,
Yeah.
and everyone can make a big LAN tournament event, get the some prize pool, all those things. And on another hand, they have official tournaments from id Software. So
Yeah.
it's like both, and it's great. For example, every year they have a QuakeCon in Texas, and it's since 1996. But still, community run other tournaments, and which are big too. So this is the thing that we really want for Realm, to have custom servers with ability to make tournaments,
Yeah.
because Blizzard on another company, another big company, they not allow and support custom tournaments. I
Yeah.
never heard about a big Overwatch tournament outside the Overwatch League or Blizzard support.
Well, I mean, even Fortnite. Like, if you look at Fortnite, Fortnite's the same way. Like, they had specific customs for streamers and for content creators, but it was very much controlled. It wasn't like a open to the public thing, So, I mean, if Hi-Res releases custom servers to everyone and they give access to everyone, like, I don't know how they're going to manage that or how they're going to do that, but if this is like, done in a way where you can gain access to this, and host your own thing, I feel like that'd be huge because they would literally be probably the first BR and the first publisher to do that. The first,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm not sure about PUBG. PUBG have a lot of esports action, and they
oh,
have
that's
Face
true.
It.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it because all my friends play PUBG. I never tried it PUBG because I know I just not into automatic guns.
Yeah.
It's not my thing.
Yeah.
I don't like those graphics settings. So
Yes.
I
Yeah.
always loved games like Overwatch, Quake, now Realm Royale.
Yeah.
So it's just not my type of game. It's not like, so everyone tried Apex. I didn't try it. I actually, well, I downloaded. I was in that training ground or something like this, and then I deleted the game because it's just not my type of the game.
Yes.
Same with CS:GO, and so some people don't understand can you not like Apex if you like Realm, but it's totally different games. And as far as I can see, Realm is the game that people who played World of Warcraft and
Mm-hmm.
League of Legends, those people love Realm Royale.
That's
So
where I
they
came
a
from. That's my
lot of, yeah,
background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know you came from League of Legends, right?
Yep. And World of
Yeah,
Warcraft. So
and we're I didn't know
yeah.
that. Yeah, so here's my thought about this. We have a lot of players who came from not FPS shooters to
Yeah.
this game because this game. Well, my first thought when I saw that game was like, "Whoa, this is World of Warcraft but shooter."
Yeah.
I saw it in Shroud stream, and I never played World of Warcraft. Like I never touched it because I never been to online RPGs. But
Mhm.
I loved the games like Diablo 2, for example. And this game is like remind me of Diablo 2 shooter, something like this. I
Yeah.
always was thinking why nobody makes a game like Diablo 2 but a shooter. And
Yeah.
actually, Realm is something like this. I mean, like, yeah, some people will say that Fortnite was before the Realm took the idea, but actually, the first game was Arma free. Then it was H1Z1, I
Yeah.
believe,
Mhm.
right? So if people say that Realm took the idea from Fortnite, it's more like they took idea from H1Z1. Oh, I don't know. So and Epic, which is it's shocking that Epic made that comeback. So here's the thing: not everyone knows, but our community, Quake community, we always were like rivals with the Unreal Tournament community. So this is two big shooters since like forever, since the 90s.
Yeah.
And Quake always was like bigger in terms of community and tournaments. And id Software always was bigger than Epic.
Mhm.
But and Epic actually was dying until Fortnite came. I mean, like nobody remember games from Epic. The only thing that Epic was doing at selling their tech, their engine.
Yeah.
So their engine was Unreal Engine was used in many games. So they
Oh, yeah.
got money from the engine, but they had no games. They always had like unpopular Unreal Engine, yeah. So they had no good games. So Unreal Tournament was failing and failing each version, and then Fortnite came. It was like a huge thing, like they made a great comeback with Fortnite because they were like around since the 90s, but they were not popular at all. So the only thing they were doing was giving the Unreal Engine to other uh, devs who made games. Like
Yeah.
I think like 80% of modern games made on Unreal Engine.
Yeah, Unreal Engine is like, I mean, now they're like what? They're on like version 5 or something. Like they have
Yeah,
multiple
they
versions.
have yeah. Same with Quake ID Tech.
Okay.
Same thing. So it's also used in a lot of games, like let's say Call of Duty, for example.
Yeah. So, okay, so I want to get back to something because this is interesting because we're kind of talking about this whole idea of casual versus competitive
Yeah.
and some of the changes Realm is making and these pro scenes and how they've developed and where they've come from. So, like for the fact that Realm's releasing custom. So, one of the ideas, obviously bots are in the game, like they're very much vocalized by a lot of people, at least within the small PC, the PC bubble, that it's like they clearly don't like bots. I think a lot of people don't like bots, but there's sort of like this weird, like I almost kind of feel like the game is balanced with bots in the game, and for them to just like remove that would feel very like, I think it would feel off. Like I think the game balance would feel off. Like I think cooldowns would feel off. I think that we've become so used to bots being in the economy that many competitive people would very much like that. But I think a lot of people that maybe are more casual would not necessarily love that change. So like I'm curious, like on your take, like they're decreasing bots. Like I personally have enjoyed it. The last patch, I think we saw another decrease in bots. I think I counted the other day, it was like, what is it, 44 people in solos versus what, 36. So they added another eight or 10 potentially to solos, and then the numbers probably scale from up from that in duos and squads. Because what's squads at now? Squads is like 60 or 70.
60 to 40, I think.
Yeah. So
60
60
people per
40,
squad.
and then I think duos is what, 55?
I don't know about those. I know only about squads, 60 to 40 in squads.
Okay. And solos is at like 44 or 46. I'm pretty sure it's 44. Um,
Oh yeah.
so they keep decreasing bots, which is great. Like it kind of, we've talked a lot on this podcast about bots. So I'm curious how they're going to approach this whole casual versus competitive thing. I feel like solos right now is probably the most played, and then next would be squads, and then duos would be third. That would be my guess. There's nothing behind that. But I'm curious how they're going to continue to cater to the casual environment as well as this competitive environment when they release customs. Like, is customs going to be enough of an itch for the competitive community that they're no longer going to scream remove bots from the game? Like, do you think that's a viable solution for high res to say we can offer customs to the competitive community, and then we can have bots still be in the regular games for the casual community, and then for competitive community it's just like a practice mode. So like, what do you think about that? Do you think that's enough?
So first of all, we need ranked, right?
You need
So
rankings.
yeah, rankings. So let's see the experience of Overwatch. They have quick play
Yeah,
for players who just casually wanna enjoy the game after the work, and I don't know, drinking a beer and play,
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Because this game is actually great for playing with friends and have fun.
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
well, same. So you just go and play publics, and we have players who like competition, like tournaments, they go play ranked. So, and there's like another players who want to be in ranked, but they bet they pay for boost, something like that, like in Overwatch. I mean, like, so here's the thing: I add ranked or tournament mode, which I believe they're working on because there was like, rumors about that.
Yes.
Something that will be like for tournaments, and so all the nerds will play tournament mode, and all the casual players will play the quick normal thing. So casual will have a lot of bots, and
Yeah.
which is okay. So people will kill them, make highlights, upload on YouTube, and say, "Whoa, I just made a 30 kills bomb. Check this out." And 80% of those kills are on bots, which is like it doesn't cost anything. I mean, like,
Yes. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
if I will ever make a frag movie, the only rule will be no bot kills, because it's just so in
Yeah.
Quake it was like if you make a frag movie with a bot kill, it was like people would be ruffle at you, like
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like it's not cool. So actually, you said like a lot of players don't like bots. I know plenty of players, my friends from Quake, that queued game only because of bots, but they are not like they're not like players. They've been to the pro scene of Quake like for ages.
They're like
So
the
they are like so
they're
their
like top
mindset is like
tier. They're like top tier
yeah,
gamers. Like, you know what
yeah,
I
they're
mean?
top tier
Yeah, top one
gamers, and
percent of gamers in the
yeah,
world.
all of them right now are playing Epics. Some of them still playing Quake. They will be on QuakeCon this year, but they do enjoy the game. So they
Yeah.
keep saying to me that Realm is a great game, and they keep asking me, "Hey, Yuri, when they will remove bots? When will be customs?"
Yes.
They ask me every week. So if customs will arrive and bots will be removed, they will come back. And they one of like for example, let's say Close is the world champion in Quake, and he told me that Realm is a great game. He loved to play it. So he really don't like to play Quake anymore. But they just hate bots. I know. I'm a, I'm not hating the bots. I mean, like because I know it saved the game. Actually, in
Yeah.
September,
They
I
absolutely
think
did.
it was. Yeah, so it was like online was like 200 people, 300 people, 500 people.
It was very low. Yes.
700, yeah. And I remember that all the American players who were playing on EU also. We had like those one server games. You remember it? So it was like
Yes. It was one game
uh,
mode, 6-man
one,
squads, right?
no. After the 6-man squads, there was a patch where we played. If you play queue for solos or duos, it was like once. It could be both EU and NA.
Oh,
Depending
yeah,
on
the cross region. Yes, the cross
cross
region.
region. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, I
they
got you.
added cross region because there was no players in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember that. For example, I remember that Gentle Giant played a lot of games on Europe because of his time. He's from the Seattle,
Yeah.
so when he started to play, and they was like kinda dead, He
Yeah, yeah.
always played late,
Yeah.
so he played a lot of in Europe. So then they added bot, and the game started to grow some player base at least because a lot of players came to the game, try the game, and they were killing, and they were like, "Oh, cool game. I'm
Yeah.
going to call my friends," something like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem, I think, also they don't have a good advertising. The only good thing they do, they buy hours at streamers.
Yes.
So they actually bought a lot of time in of Russian streamers, but my opinion, they did it wrong. I was watching those big Russian streamers playing Realm. I don't remember which month it was, maybe November or something like this. Um, so this is basically like biggest Russian streamers, but they were playing Realm for 2 hours, and they were like didn't know anything about the game. So I'm not saying that like they had to call someone who knows the game, but at least they have to play, I don't know, 5-6 hours. So buy one guy, but for at least for 6 hours, not like five random guys who plays 2 hours and never played the game again, even if they like it.
Yeah.
So at least it must be like 6 hours gameplay or something like this.
Okay.
So my opinion on bots, we have to keep them for the casuals,
Yeah.
and we have to remove them for tournament mode. That's
Yeah, and you're open to like this idea because I mean, obviously we're capped by the player base, and here's what I would project or what I would think may happen with the whole scenario is obviously Hi-Rez has had their hands full trying to launch this game. They're a smaller developer, they're a smaller publisher, or at least they're a smaller development
it's
team.
you saying this, and I think this, but Alternate told me that they're huge. They have a lot of money. I was impressed. So he told me that Hi-Rez is not as small as people think.
Really?
Yeah, so they are not that small. That's why they run those tournaments, and they have a lot of sponsors and a lot of money from Microsoft, as far as I know.
Yes.
For Facebook, they have very good contracts. So they are not as small as people think they are.
Okay. Well,
So I was actually thinking they are like super small, but
yeah,
they
that
are
was my
not.
understanding, and maybe it's just the amount of resources that they're putting into Realm Royale. I don't know. I'm not
Yes, this
sure.
is true. I think they don't put a lot of resources into Realm Royale because they just wanted to make a fast rival for Fortnite, I think.
Yeah.
And then they made a huge mistake with this six-man squads, for
Yeah.
example. And when they were doing a lot of patches. I don't know, the gaming community now in the world very picky.
Yes.
So let's say it's not only so every big company had fails actually. Valve Artifact, guys, do you know how many players online basis Artifact? Guys, it's like 20 people play Artifact, and
Did
it's
it
a
did it tank
big
that
project.
hard? Didn't they just do Twitch Rivals Artifact like 2 weeks ago?
I
I
don't
wonder if
know,
that's
but
true.
last time I checked, Artifact was literally 70 people playing. Right now it's 33 current players. Can you believe this?
Like
Check
watching
this.
on Twitch right now.
No, playing the game in
Are
Steam.
you serious? It's that
I'm not
bad.
joking. Go check it out. I
I
can
will
I can
have to
post
look
the
that
link.
up, man. That's
Wait,
crazy.
this is crazy. And so it's playing 20 minutes ago. 33 people, guys. Check this
Okay.
out. I posted the link. So it happens with a lot of companies. And let's say Artifact was like way more advertised than
Yeah.
Realm, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I believe if they will put some more money in Twitch advertising this game, like let's say just hire one big streamer, one. They don't need to hire like a lot of. So let's say at least Dafran. If Dafran will
Yeah.
play it, it will be good for the game. And he used to love the game. I
Yeah.
mean, like, and
Well,
he's good at the game.
a lot of the big streamers like the game, and so this was what I was gonna say, earlier as we were continuing to talk about this competitive scene and how Hi-Rez can grow the game and the player base, and how that fits in with bots. But like one of the things is when they released the announcement for the tournaments, back in February, we saw a boost from like
It was
three or
10K online, 10K online.
yeah, it went on PC. It went from 4 to 5,000 players to 10,000 players in like 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
So, like, and this, I think this, kind of supports the statement you made earlier about how fickle the PC community is with their games is
Yeah.
because we saw that boost and then the tournaments got canceled and then they all left. So there's
Yeah,
this
and there
element.
was another key factor. Epics got released.
Yeah, and Apex, yes, absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. Apex was another big issue there. But there's this element where it's like, if they could time it right, and say they host a big tournament, they're gonna pull some streamers in if there's a chance for them to make money. And then if they have the groundwork set where we have a competitive environment set up already, I think a lot of people would have a huge amount of fun, joining these custom tournaments, joining, games that streamers are hosting, and I think that would be a huge boost for not only, Realm Royale in a broader sense for their advertising purposes, but also for the community as a whole to see some big streamers playing in this big hosted tournament with lots of money. So say they do another 100K or something like that, and they bring in, I'm blanking on his name, the YouTuber,
Keemstar.
Keemstar. So they bring in Keemstar, and they do another 100K with Keemstar, and they bring in all these big streamers. But then on top of that, there's already a groundwork for customs. There's already an established community that's been hosting tournaments, weekly and monthly. Maybe some of these big streamers jump into those, have a good time playing that. I think that's a solid foundation for them to say, like, this is a fun game to play in a competitive sense, because it seems like a lot of competitive, like, or at least a lot of streamers like the competitive environment. Like, I think it's rare. Maybe there's a couple, that would jump in, but it seems like a lot of the big Fortnite streamers are playing, and trying to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I know Defran as well as, Jatobo and some of these other guys that played in the 10Ks, Kefri, a lot of those guys, pull a couple thousand viewers and really loved the game, and then stopped playing because there A was no chance to make money, but then B, the opportunity for competitive lobbies was non-existent
Yeah.
because of bots. They felt like there wasn't a competitive edge there. So if you offer them customs on top of the opportunity to play in a tournament and make some money, I think that you obviously are going to pull all those streamers back into the game automatically. Now, how long they stay is the question. That's where I'm like, I don't know how long they can keep interest here, because it seems like on Twitch, at least now, a lot of streamers are very flaky where they jump games a lot. They jump games frequently. And maybe a lot of that is because they're not getting paid, or maybe a lot of that is because they just get bored quickly because they're streaming and playing every single day. I'm not sure, but I would hope that would be a good groundwork for Realm to grow and receive a lot of good advertisement.
Yeah, so my thoughts about this, they will not come back. So some people like Kefri, he will come back only if it will be like a lot of money in tournaments and investments. So I think that it's not very important for us. For us, it's very important to get those customs for the
Yes.
community. Get the spectator mode, which is second biggest thing for this game.
Yeah.
So this game, which is great, is simple. Everyone can understand what is going on in this game. So, for example, even my friends who play Overwatch, they cannot understand what's going on in the Overwatch League. It's the biggest problem of Overwatch, and the audience is not that big, so they have the biggest viewer cost, in
Yeah.
esports. So their production is on the top level and very expensive, but
Mm-hmm.
the viewers they get, it's not that big, and the money they get from the streams and all the production, so
Mm-hmm.
they are like the most expensive production in esports, and they don't get so much back. On Realm is super easy to understand, watch, and actually is beautiful kills, beautiful moments, a lot of action. So it's the most enjoyable to watch. It's more enjoyable to watch than PUBG for sure. Even my friends who play PUBG said it.
No,
So
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah, so
absolutely.
so it's
100%.
more action, more interesting. So it's good for viewers, and we still don't have a spectator mode. And well, actually, they have it. because you remember the tournaments they used to have it. So I believe they just don't give it for the community. But long time ago, maybe 2 months ago, I was speaking with Jay Nash, and he said that it's in their roadmap to give the spectator mode to the community, which
Yeah.
is great. So
Yes.
those two things they will change our community forever. I believe it will be big driver for community, and everyone will start tournaments, analytics,
Mhm.
like broadcast, all those
I
things.
mean,
There will be a lot of people involved, and more people will come because there will be more videos, more streams and things like this. We will grow even without big streamers. It will be cool if Hi-Res will hire one big streamer. It
yeah.
will be cool, but it will be not that important because how to say, so Apex, for example, is not a problem in my opinion. So people said, oh, Apex came, that's why Realm player base started to be like not 10k. So here they think, I see a lot of Apex players already coming back to Realm,
Oh,
a lot of
absolutely.
them,
Mhm.
because it's like first of all, Apex was hype. That's the reason a lot of players want to play something that big. So this is the mentality of humans. They want to be a part of something big, like,
Yeah.
oh, every Ninja plays Fortnite, I have to play Fortnite. So and even in Realm community, I know some players they keep asking about those tournaments, and every time I see them keep asking about those money tournaments, I'm like, why you ask? You never have a chance to win it, because I know those players and their skill they're not very high.
Yeah.
And so I don't know why, but even bad players sometimes they only care about turn. It's always was a big question for me. So for
Yeah.
example, so people, so I know my skill, and I even know that it will be hard for me to win the tournament. But some players, like they are pretty average players, and they care about those money tournaments. And I always ask myself why. Like you cannot win even a $50 tournament. How can you win a 5k tournament? Something
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's I don't know why, but a lot of players only care to play in money tournaments, like the lottery. They
Sure.
want to win a lottery. So I don't know how can you win if Heaven is playing. I don't know, or I don't know, Mouse is playing, all those players, and you just a player who I don't know, you're average. So basically, when it will this time come of tournaments, I want to myself. I want to focus on the content for the all the pro players. I want to be broadcaster, because I have a huge Quake experience in it. So
Mhm.
I'm too old to play those tournaments for like another years. So 31 for esports age is pretty like you can still be on top, but you cannot be like the best because the mechanics of young players will be better.
Yeah.
So I just
Well,
so wait for spectator mode because I want to do a quality content of
Oh, see, now you got me
analytics
all
and
excited.
broadcasting. This is my goal for Realm community. I still gonna play tournaments, and enjoy tournaments because Realm is great as a competitive game. I mean, like you can do so much skill kills, skill combos, new tactics. It's just the game is made for skill plays, and a lot of players were mad that they started to do it not skill at all, like they started to buff the unskilled weapons, all those things. So priority for like casual gamers. So that was a big problem. Now I think they think of trying to do balance for this,
yeah.
so, which is great. So I think that game in a very good state. The game will have their player base for sure. I mean, like, so there's a game called Rainbow Six, right?
Mhm.
And they failed in the beginning, and now they have a very big competitive scene with 100k players online on Steam. So guys, if you go to Steam charts, just check Rainbow Six. I don't remember how it called. Rainbow
Is it
Six
Siege?
Siege, yeah. So I will show you guys the link. So they started with in December 2015, and it was not a big player base. It was 18k for the game like this. It's a little one,
Wow, that's
and
crazy.
now, yeah. So just take a look at the numbers, how it grow, and they had like up and downs. They had 14ks, 11ks.
Yeah.
and now they are 140. So, and from what I know, they grow because of the very good patches, and community was involved, and game started to be better and better. Same will be with Realm for sure, because uh, if they will listen to community, if they will let community to do tournaments and all the stuff, game will grow for sure. I think it will be like 10Ks for sure,
Yeah.
which is good for PC. And we already have a pretty big PlayStation 4 community. I think they're still the biggest one.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
That's interesting. I'm not sure how to track some of those metrics just because I know obviously Steam charts is just PC, but
Yeah.
I would be curious to hear those numbers because I would love to know. Like they've said multiple times, at least this was months ago, that they said that they had reached 120,000 players across the console platform. That just releasing the console had a huge boost in player base. And I think Switch is going to have a big impact on that too, because I have a ton of friends who own Switches and they're playing and picking this game up for the first time.
Oh,
And
it's actually a very interesting question for me. Is it Can you kill anyone on Switch? I mean, like I never touched Switch in my life, so it's so hard. Like I feel bad if I kill a Switch player. Like I mean, like he literally have no chance to kill me.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I would love to get some feedback from people that aren't like. It's so hard to get like honest feedback. Like, I think this is a good challenge for a lot of us. Is go check out some of those people that are on console and hear from them about how their experience is, playing this game.
So my idea about Switch that it's great for viewers too. So in Quake we have so if you go in the game, you have a option to watch the Twitch streams, in the game, not
Yes,
going anywhere. So you just go to live broadcasts and you see all the players who stream Quake.
yes,
So if it will be in Realm, so people from Switch will enjoy watching the tournaments from the Switch because it's bigger display, right?
yeah. I mean, they can dock it and then send it to their television, or they can play it as a handheld.
Yeah. So it's also good. It's very good for people to watch it from the Switch. I mean, like, and I believe a lot of players have Switch in NA, right? Because I don't know a single person who have a Switch in Russia.
Oh, really? Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Switch is I mean, it's huge. Like
yeah,
it's huge right now.
yeah.
So,
Nintendo always had some problems in Russia. I don't know why. Even in the 90s, we all had Sega Mega Drive. Nobody had
okay.
Nintendo. So this is
Interesting.
another difference of markets. So
Yes.
Sega Mega Drive was almost everywhere.
Hmm.
Like every kid had a Sega Mega Drive, and nobody had Nintendo.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's kind of crazy.
yeah. I think that it's just like Sega Mega Drive gave the money to someone.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
how. To,
like, and I've heard bad feedback. Like, in order for these people to stream, which it seems like there is a decent streaming community on Twitch, even with some of these people. I don't know about Mixer and YouTube and other platforms, but at least on Twitch, I know PS4, has a community. I've seen a decent amount of Xbox, but in order to stream it, you obviously need a capture card, or if you're an Xbox player or PS4 player, I think you can stream it through your console. But yeah, I'm not sure how if Switch has a streaming integration. I believe you need a capture card in order to stream it through the Switch. But yeah, that's interesting. I want to hear feedback from some players that, like, obviously you go on Reddit, which is like a little bit more. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. It's a toxic community. Like, it seems like people that want to post on Reddit are just there to complain. But I'd love to hear from some more rational people about their experience playing this game on console and how they feel, because it seems like there's a whole separate balance for console players as opposed to PC players, which is interesting to hear that feedback. Like, it's so easy to operate inside of a bubble as a player on PC and not
one,
hear from other
one,
experiences.
yeah. One thing about console and PC, I'm sure that if I go and play on PlayStation or Xbox, I will be wrecked. So
Oh,
I have no
yes.
chance.
Yes.
Yeah, but if they go to PC, they can do good. I mean, like, it's so people who play good on PlayStation or Xbox, they will fast learn on PC, I think, and they will be even better because of the opportunities that PC gives. But if I go to gamepad, I will be wrecked so hard because the only games I played on console on a decent level was like fightings, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So actually I will be like I will look like I played some games like GTA. Even GTA is hard for me, you know, on console because I just never got used to the gamepad.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that's why I want to try it. Like, I just want to try it because my buddy was like, "Well, what weapon should I use?" And I'm like, "I mean, I could tell you from a PC perspective that you should be using these weapons, but I haven't played it on Switch, so I can't say, you should use, the slug or, you should be using an axe or whatever because I forget which weapon. Somebody was telling me that's why all the AR weapons are so popular is because on console they're so much easier to use. You
I
know,
think Shredder is rocking on console, but they removed it for a time. So now
yeah,
it's probably Air Room. I don't know.
yeah, heirloom or revolver, or I would think that hit scan would help, but I don't know because I've never played it. That's why I really want to get my hands on one and give it a try, and really like actually try it out for a bit. But yeah, we'll have to see. I want to hear from some people in chat as well as like online about playing both on PC and on console and what the different experience would be. So. But yeah, I'm curious about that. So, but anyway, we'll keep moving on. We're talking about balance. We're talking about the competitive scene. We're talking about growing the game. Like all this is really great stuff. One of the things with balance, in Realm right now, I mean, it sounds like from you that you feel like the game's in a really good state with balance. Like you don't have any major issues with it.
I'm just not a kind of player who always blame the balance.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that the problem was Shredder. Also, I think Stone Staff must be better. I don't know why they nerfed it so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Stone Staff was so in my opinion it was easiest weapon in the game with Shredder. Sword of Warrior, Shredder of Assassin, and Stone Staff of Mage is for me were easiest weapons in the game. And I believe when I started Realm Royale like 1 year ago, I always trying to find Stone Staff because I thought it's the best weapon and it was easiest for me to kill the people with Stone Staff. Then they nerfed it, then they buffed it, but now it's in a bad state.
Yeah.
So speaking about balance, I would go for rune changes. First of all, I know that there's rumors that they will nerf it, but first of all, CC protection rune must be nerfed.
Yeah.
Like Lifesteal got nerfed, which is good, and people were asking for it. Uh, then Stone Staff must be buffed.
Yeah.
Shredder must be balanced. I mean, like they have to find something to make it good, but not sick. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
maybe come back to the older version and do not stuck with headshot rune, something like this.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the old version with headshot rune was busted, but without it was okay. I
Yeah.
mean, like still powerful, but not that powerful.
Yeah.
L room seems to be a very good weapon, but I'm not gonna say it's like the best weapon like people say.
Yeah.
Longbow got nerfed a bit, which is for me it's like not a big deal because I never been hunter with longbow. I mean, like with longbow, but yeah, I know like for players like Arrow, it's not cool. But probably it's okay that it's not working on that high range. I don't know. Speaking about X, people always blame X for being spammy weapon. Maybe fire rate can be nerfed, but if they nerf fire rate, they have to buff the damage because right now, literally, Fire X can lose a fight to bolt stuff
Yeah. Yeah.
if you do not miss a single X.
Yeah.
So I'm playing in European solo leagues and I'm doing really good on it. But I had a fight with I Miss English player, which is good player. He had a purple bolt staff, and I had a Fire X, and I almost lost the fight, and I didn't miss a single X in that
Yeah.
fight. So we were literally like shooting each other nonstop.
Was he
Uh,
running was he running totem or ice block?
Totem.
Totem. Okay.
Yeah,
Makes
he was
sense.
like a totem. I think, or maybe ice block. I don't remember. It just was like the thing was like one more shot and he kills me.
Yeah, yeah.
I won the fight only because I didn't miss a single X.
Yeah.
And I was like, he definitely have a runes. I asked him, he had no runes. He had no headshot rune or damage rune.
Oh, good
You know.
grief.
So
Yeah.
I think he just landed all the headshots or something like this.
Yeah.
So
It's not a difficult weapon to track on. Like depending on how they're moving, bolt staff is like really easy to track with. And obviously
yeah.
it has massive DPS if you can land those headshots.
So
So
I would be careful with the balance. I don't know why they just don't make small balance changes. Like, like, okay, everyone wants to nerf CC protection rune. Just nerf it. That's all. Don't do anything else. Like hot fix.
yeah, yeah.
And people will give you a feedback. Okay, it's cool. We love that CC protect. So CC protection rune ruins like it ruins builds for players. It ruins Conk Bomb build for Assassin. It ruins Blast Arrow build for Hunter. It
Yeah.
ruins a Net Shot build for Warrior. I mean, like, it's this rune, and you never know that enemy have this.
Yeah.
So basically, you're gambling. You're gambling because it's like you better take the flare or healing shout or sensor drone or smoke if you know that the enemy have CC protection, right? So
Yes.
it's just
All right, so
I don't know.
I have a question for you,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, because I mean obviously like I don't consider myself like the highest tier level player like, but I play in some of the competitive matches. You know, I've played in Realm League, I've played in scrims,
yeah.
like
And you
I've
play very good, so
yeah.
your understanding of the game same level of my understanding. We play all the tournaments, all the things. So I think we have like same experience.
Yes. So, but one of my questions is that I've noticed within the community, it seemed like balance really became an issue when more of these competitive. Because again, I'm going to touch the point that a lot of streamers and a lot of the people within the community that would be considered like influencers, you know, some of the bigger streamers, some of the players that are playing in these tournaments and participating in Realm League, you know, and since we found out the way how to pre-queue in order to like
Yeah.
empty the lobby and get more people into a lobby.
Petson Law. It
Yeah,
was
pets and
idea
law.
of a Swedish player Petson. He's
Yeah,
currently on first place on the European League.
yeah, go donate. Go donate to Petson. Big
But he's
brain,
not streaming, guys. So
big brain plays. But anyway, like this idea that it's like it seems like a lot of players since this solo league came out have been complaining about balance. Which here's my
it's
question.
just a wine. Monty. It's just a wine,
A,
and we
a
will
wine.
always have this. So it always will be part of the community and gaming.
Yeah.
People
So
always will blame cheaters, stream snipers, balance,
yeah.
loot, and things like this. I just don't care about this. I mean, like, I never listen to this. I mean, like, if it's good critiques, I will listen to this. I mean, like,
Yes.
so first of all, people want to favor their side all the time. So if
Yes.
they play mage, they will always say buff mage. If they play warrior, they always say buff X or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. My thoughts are on this. First of all, some people hate. So I don't know a single person. Oh, okay, let's say Gentle Giant. He plays all the heroes. I never heard Gentle blame some hero, because he
Mm-hmm.
play all the heroes. And if the player plays, so the perfect thing for me will be like there is no class at all, so people will not blame one class that they don't play.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I never blamed Pepega Mage, for example, which is like the biggest thing in those chat right now. So people like hate Pepega mages, which I find a little bit overrated. I mean, like, I know only two, okay, let's say three really good Pepegas in this game. It's Runa, Heavenly, and Petson.
What about
Let's say
Kupski? Well, Kupski doesn't play Pepega, does he?
Kapsky is fourth. Let's
Fourth.
say.
Okay. Okay.
But the best Pepegas is Runa and Heavenly. So those players are like mastering this,
Yeah.
and So there's no other good Pepegas,
Yeah.
you know. So and it's hard to master it. And Pepega is only good with runes. So why you speak about nerfing the mage?
Yeah.
Just
Or also
uh,
the lack of armor pots was really like not helping. And then when they released more armor pots, it seems like we saw less Pepega Mage. And actually, what came in with the OB20, what I think came into the light a little bit was all of a sudden
yeah, White
Assassin.
Hammer Rune is the best Pepega in the game, and everyone who say something that he's not the best only because of his character. He's not. He's have a hard character, and community have a problems with it. That's why people not rating him the best. But he's literally the best player uh, I played with in this game, and his sense of game is the best. He's just super good player,
He's a good
and
player. Yeah.
yeah, I don't care about I don't talk about the guy, and I only talk about skill because I can separate a guy and a skill, because I'm 31 and I'm a normal person who have experience. I don't blame people for, like, let's say Cristiano Ronaldo seems like not a cool guy, but he's one of the best football players. So if you don't like Cristiano Ronaldo, it's your problem, but he's super skilled. And I'm not his fan. I'm Messi fan. That's what I'm talking about. So you have to be like fair in this situation. The
Well,
guy can be cool or not cool, but if he's super player, he's super
sure.
player.
Well, a
Football
lot
versus
of
soccer.
a lot of a lot of talented. I mean, that's just the way that it is. A lot of talented people tend to be difficult. Like personality
Yes,
wise. Like,
yes.
I mean, I'm not
Which is
trying.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not
I
trying
mean,
to.
like,
I'm not trying to
genius
encourage
people
that.
also are like people like Van Gogh. They were like crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not
Eccentric.
trying to. I'm not eccentric. I'm not trying to say that Rune is Van Gogh. No, no.
Yeah,
I mean, like, yeah, it's. I mean, like, it's people must be more chill about this. I mean, uh, like for example, some people will be mad if some, I don't know, big player will say some shit about them, but it's. I mean, like those. I don't care. For example, when Heavenly first met me, he told so many shit about me, but I was totally okay with this because I know that it's just his I don't know, his thing, like he's just
yeah.
he
And he
ruined
talks
this.
about it. He says that on his in his description on his stream
Yeah,
that he
yeah,
literally says I'm an ass. Like that's what it says
yeah,
in his description on his
yeah.
page. Like
Which actually makes him much better person. I mean, like some people
yeah.
are ass and they trying to be to look like they're cool.
They're very
But
self
if you are
at
ass
least
and
he's
you
self-aware,
say your
right?
ass,
Yeah.
it's much better. Yeah,
So
you're fair. You're
yes, yeah.
fair.
Yeah,
So
he judges himself
so
equally.
yeah, so we always have those drama things.
Yeah.
Always will have those. So like even in like other games, they will always have people who hate each other or something like this, or people who say something bad about each other. I mean, like it's human beings. I mean, like it's nothing wrong about this. So it
Yeah.
happens. I mean,
Yeah.
like some people are cool and this is cool. Some people not cool, but it's from your perspective. But from their
Yeah.
perspective, you're not cool. So it's just yeah, the way it is.
Yeah. Well, back to the topic. I mean,
Yeah,
that was a
yeah,
good side wrap. There's a lot of
yeah,
good knowledge in that. Thank you
yeah.
for dropping those knowledge bombs. That was good. That was good, Yuri. But one of the things we were talking about with balance, like Pepega, and
Yeah.
regardless of who's the best or whatever, there like we hear this point of like skills involved, but then obviously there's more to it than just class balance because the game's constantly evolving. So just the fact that they added in
I
more
like
armor,
dogs.
pots means that Pepega all of a sudden like felt less strong because a big issue against Pepega was not having armor. Like you initially couldn't win fights against Pepega if
Yes,
you had no
yes,
armor. So now that you have full armor against Pepega, it's not as strong.
yes,
And
yes.
so there's this idea, and the point that I was going to try and make
Well,
earlier.
it's strong, but not OP like it used to be.
Yes, yes, yeah. But this idea that I came up with earlier was this idea of I feel like this sudden boom in interest in solo league is that the balance around solo league is going to be so difficult at a high level for high res to balance. Everyone comes up with each class has its unique benefits, And here's my hot take is I think if they try and balance the game around solo, they're going to unbalance the game in squads or duos. So,
Yeah, I got your point, and
yes.
I probably agree with it. So here's the thing. So let's say so what? For example, one more time about Runo because it's will be interesting in this point. So he thinks that in solos, it's better to have double ice block mage. The reason is because you are one, and um the loot that you will find is probably you won't find the cooldown runes,
Yeah.
because you are alone.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
looting alone. But if you play duos or squads, you have to play the cooldowns because all people who open the chest they will give you those runes
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
need. So basically, the cooldowns build, Pipega build with cooldowns is better. But for solos, double ice block is better.
Yeah.
You see the point? So because you never know how many runes you will find.
Yeah,
But
so what you
yeah,
build for that game mode determines like your talents and all those things, right? So
yeah.
so here's my question. Do you think high res should balance around solos? Because I feel like a lot of people come out of solos. There's been a huge boost lately in complaining about Assassin because all
No, no,
this.
no. So the only reason why Solos is rocking right now because of the Gentle Giant Love Souls. He started the Solos League. It's
Yeah.
kind of big thing, and people like to play it. So that's the reason. If there will be like a big duos or squads league, everyone will forget about Souls. That's all. I mean,
Yeah.
like, so first tournaments of high res money tournaments, 10Ks. There was only one solo tournament.
Yeah.
All the tournaments were duos and squads,
Duos and
and
squads, yep.
I personally, so I'm not doing bad at solos. So right now in European League I'm second place, and I'm good on points, and but I don't like solos at
Yeah.
all. I mean, like, uh, I prefer trios is the best for me because it's balanced from squads and the duos. So, and a lot of other players say that they love trios. Squads a little bit more chaotic, but trios make it not that chaotic and not that how to say. So duos looks like all. So in trios, it's a cool thing that what tactics each team brings. So
Yeah.
for example, we can see assassin, hunter, warrior. Another team will have mage, assassin, hunter. So it's like you never know. So it's a lot of. Collide, like of the tactics in trios. In squads, you always have the same, and things like this. Also in trios, if you lost one, you're not dead. In duos, if you lost one, you're like dead, so trios is very balanced. I like trios. Solos, I don't know. I mean, like it's a little bit boring, and people aware of third party so much in solos,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it makes it a little bit more passive.
Yeah.
And I
So
don't know. As a viewer, I love to watch duos, trios, and squads.
yeah. But that's my point. Is this element of like if all the influencers, okay, all the streamers in the community are playing solos, but they're complaining about the game and they're saying it's imbalanced. They're talking about double conk bomb and fights and stuff like this, right? Which
It's something new, actually. I saw that. I saw another tweet from Mouse. He said something. So now it's a new thing. People blame Kong Bomb. What the fuck?
assassin right now is very big. It's considered one of the stronger
Yo,
classes.
guys, you have to check the European League. I mean, like, European
Yeah.
League's also on a very high level, and Assassin getting like wrecked all the time in this. I mean, like, I don't know. It's just a new thing that maybe on NA a lot of good players play Assassin, like Strudel,
Yeah.
for
So
example.
yeah, and
It's
Shooter
just
pl-
he
Shooter.
plays every class on the top tier level,
Yeah, he
so
does.
he will make players mad with Mage, Hunter, no matter what he's playing.
Yeah. So, but that's the point I'm making is like, I want to be careful with this idea that, yes, I do want the developers to listen to the community, but I also want the community to keep in hindsight that it's like, with multiple game modes, they need to have a specific idea behind balance that fits
Yes.
balancing this game. So you can't just pick out like isolated situations within Realm League and say, I lost this matchup. It's impossible to 1v1 Pepega Mage. There's gonna come points in certain scenarios
True.
where it's like
And
you want balance based on a 1v1 matchup, but certain classes are almost always, depending on their abilities, going to have a benefit in a 1v1 scenario, so you have to play accordingly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so but basically what I'm getting at is, and this is maybe a rare opinion, but I think that high res should balance the game around squads or duos, and then let solos be like, let the cards lay where they may, because that's, if they try and balance around solos, and they listen to the community because we're playing Realm League, I feel like that's a mistake. I feel like all of a sudden you trash like two other game modes because you're worried about
This is
something.
totally true, and the thing is, well, first of all, like Glock 9 said, some people think that Assassin is OP. It's something new to me. I mean, like, I never heard something like this. It's a
Yeah,
breaking news. It's a
yeah.
breaking news. So
Well,
people who call Assassin OP, they must be not very fair persons. I think. I mean, like, so here's my thought about this. The balance is not the problem in the game right now. I mean, like,
yes,
we
yeah,
have another problems, bugs, no custom game still, a lot of things that we can like focus on. It's not balance. Balance is pretty okay. I mean, like, it's not the best. It can be better,
yeah,
but it's in the current state is pretty good, and we can see all the finally Assassin is back on track, right? He was like, actually, Assassin is my second favorite hero. I play Assassin a lot. I like sniper rifle. I'm
yeah,
not like the one trick X warrior. I would love to play Assassin. I queued playing Assassin because of the blink problem.
yeah,
So
yeah.
blink was like super bad. So and it's better now. It's not the best. I want blink to have better. So first of all, why we still have hidden for Assassin? Why don't I mean, like,
Yeah,
it's a bad move. Oh, dodge roll on Hunter. So
yeah,
let's think about it. Oh, why we have bad talent system?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
people keeps talking about balance, but we have a game grabber talent for warrior. I know not everyone play warrior, but try to play with this talent. It's
yeah,
useless.
yeah.
Game grabber is you will. It's like snipes with the axes. Who do this? I tried. I tried this build. It's impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's just like useless thing. Why we have a I don't know why we still have a some builds like cold blooded for assassin. It's not worth it. I mean, like, it must be something better.
Hmm.
So basically, only hunter have a good talent tree. Only
That's why
hunter, in my
Hunter's
opinion.
my favorite class, man. I can play
Yeah.
any loadout I want. I can play
Yeah,
Arbalest. I can
any
play
loadout. You can
crossbow.
even play Ranger with a blast arrow. I just
Yeah.
found it like 2 days ago that Ranger with blast arrow is also cool.
Do you know? Actually,
Because
Do you know what blew my mind the other day? Somebody popped in my chat while I was playing, and they talked about Arbalest. And I tried.
yeah,
I've tried all the builds, and he said, and I was like, well, Arbalest is good, but if you don't hit headshots, it's totally useless. And
yeah,
he says, don't go Headhunter, run Hunter's Arsenal, which gives you the damage boost for that weapon. I tried it, and it's very viable. It's 600 damage per body shot. I think with purple Arbalest.
yeah.
So you can even run non-ideal talents and
Which is
still
great.
still do what? Because I mean, 600. What is that? That's like a purple slug or a gold slug.
Yeah,
600 body shot. So it's basically you go to the forge, you're guaranteed at least a purple or gold slug with maybe slightly less refire rate
yeah.
because slug's very strong. But you know what I mean? Like, there are mix and match talents that they did with Hunter that are just phenomenal across the board. So yeah, I definitely hear that. Those are important, very important changes they need
So
to
we
make.
just need this for each hero. Each hero needs to have that great talent system as Hunter, and they didn't add anything to talent tree since they introduced the talent tree, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they only made small change for mage, Soul
Well,
Ghost.
and I heard from Jay Nash. Jay Nash is saying that they're working on it. They have a specific person that is working on updating
Yeah, which is
talents.
great.
Yeah.
I love that they added School of Chaos because it's a
Yes.
cool ability, and we think in squads, for example, Alternate have to take it instead of Kang because it's more viable.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it have also have a place on competitive scene. The School of
Yeah.
Chaos.
Well, it
Chaos.
has like a 5 second cooldown at legendary too. It's very
Yeah, something
good.
like this. Yeah, so
Yeah.
legendary is like very good,
Yes.
very good. And yeah, Whitehammer Mage also have a decent talent tree. So I think Hunter have the best talent tree. Mage have the second best talent tree. But now they, after they nerfed stone stuff that much, it's like, so here's my thought. It's not nothing personal to anyone, but I think that uh, top skilled mages played with eye stuff. So the mages who want to play it more easy way, they played with stone stuff. Now they all play bolt stuff. So
Yeah.
even me, I cannot be a good eye stuff mage because it needs time to learn. I play with bolt stuff mage,
Yeah.
which is so also very good mage. But like eye stuff mage is like insane on a good level. Like if
Hmm.
it's like rune or heavenly, So I mean, like if they will buff stone stuff a little bit, it will means that mage will have again can choose how you play it. Because right
Yes.
now, like if you are like super nerd, you play eye stuff. If you are casual, more casual, or like decent player, you play bold stuff on mage.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all. And nobody plays stone stuff anymore.
Yeah. For sure.
And for warrior, I know that my opinion will be not very fair because I play warrior a lot. Hammer is just bullshit. I mean, like, I tried it, Monty. I tried it so many times.
Yeah.
Mouse keeps saying to me that hammer is good, but it's like a meme to me
Yeah.
because it's like I literally tried it in one tournament, and in the end we had a fight against Fate German team,
Yeah.
and we had a long range fight for a long time. They were on high ground near the I don't remember the location. Cold Mist, yeah.
Okay.
And we were fighting like for 5 minutes. I literally didn't land a single hammer on them. A
Yeah.
single. It was 4-on-4.
The projectile's too
So
slow. You can't peak with it. It's not.
yeah,
It's not a
it's
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
It can work in the beginning if you find it from the chest.
Yes.
You will kill someone
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
easy in the beginning. That's true, but that's all. In the end, it's so bad, and it's pretty much the worst version of X.
Yeah.
So why? And also, warrior didn't have a. Why we have a healing shout? I hate this ability. I mean, like warrior must have some combat ability.
Yeah.
Why we have a healing shout for warrior? And some people were saying that healing shout is OP, but now with armor,
Oh, that's
it's
exactly.
not that viable. You
Yes.
know?
Exactly. So, well, and honestly, I kind of enjoyed the change with the pot economy nerfing healing abilities because it did feel like
Yeah.
in certain
So
scenarios.
small change, adding armor to the game changed balance a lot.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Is all of a sudden the viability or the essentialness of taking healing in certain scenarios is not as much anymore because you have a plethora of pots. You can heal no matter what now. It's just a matter of whether or not you want that burst sustained during fights. But I agree with you. It's much better to take combat abilities, especially, maybe healing is maybe a little bit is still fairly viable early game until you can find like some pots, especially in a competitive environment. It just depends, but yeah, that is definitely a big change that they made this last patch for sure. It definitely affected balance. So
Yeah, it affected in a good way. I mean, like, so I agree that life steal healing rune and healing shadow on warrior was busted in the patch before, so it was like almost Pipega,
yeah,
So now it's not that strong, which is good.
yeah,
And I never liked healing shout warrior build. So I don't care about this. I remember that like a lot of players were like complaining about the healing shout being super OP, which now it's not OP at all.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Maybe it used to be like a little bit stronger than other builds, but only with runes. So it's like more of a rune problem.
Yeah.
Same with mage when it have cooldowns, and also though let's take a solo fight and two great players. Let's say two, both are hunters, and one hunter have a damage rune and headshot rune. So it will be easy fight for that hunter if another hunter don't have it. So first of all, we never know which runes enemy have. It's also a
Hmm.
problem. Also, what I think will be cool, in addition to the game, it's names under the head of the model, like in other games. I want to know who's it. You know,
Wait, names under what?
under the head of the hero.
Oh,
Like
oh,
yeah. Well, at least in squads, I don't know.
I gotcha. So like when you can see who it is you're fighting, like if you see their
yes.
their
So for
character
example,
in
if you
game.
play, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So for example, if you play squads, I don't know, somebody make a call. Let's say me and you play duos, and we met Dorn and Glock 9. So you shot at Glock 9 and you say, focus Glock 9, and I see the name under the head of the hero,
Yeah.
like small name, which is like in Quake we have had it. So I knew that it's this model is this player,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it will make it more strategic, so
Did
like you will make a call like kill Glock 9, something like
yeah.
this,
Do they
if
have
you
that in
shot.
other BRs? Does anyone know? Do they have that in like I
Yeah,
guess
like in Zeppelin, that's right, Glock 9, like in Zeppelin, yeah.
I've never thought of that before. Like, do they have that in Apex or do I don't think they have that in Apex. Do they have that in
we
Fortnite or any other BRs?
I don't know about BRs, but in Quake we had it.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean I think I would enjoy that change, especially in squads. I think it my only downside to that is I think it could have potential to lead to more like teaming kind of scenarios. Um,
Yes, but let's make it for squads only. I mean, like, if
well, there
it's
you go. Yeah,
duos. I mean, like, yeah, or make it in tournament mode only,
yeah,
something like this. I mean, like, yeah, on publics maybe it will bring a lot of bad persons teaming,
yeah.
something like this. But for the so in Quake it was like very important part of the game. So the names under the models. So because if if you play a lot of someone, you know his habits.
Yes.
Right now we just okay, we can see that this skin it must be this player.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
can be made in another way, like in Overwatch they made skins for the players, like unique skins,
Mhm.
something like this. I mean, like, so for example, I know that let's say Crippler loves to snipe a rifle, so
Yeah.
I know it's Crippler, I will not like peek, something like this. I mean, like, it brings more strategic place into the game,
Yeah.
in
I
my
like that.
yeah. So yeah, it probably it's bad for pubs. I agree, because
Yeah.
of the teamers, and which we always will have, because every community have those idiots who will stream snipe and things like this,
Mhm.
which I think it's just a part of the gaming overall. Like,
Yeah.
like same on the street, you have normal persons in the crowd and idiots. It's just like word, I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
absolutely. Cool.
we just need to have some strict rules about that, and it's hard when the game is free, right? So the
Yeah, it
problem is,
is.
yeah,
It can be difficult whenever you're dealing with people creating multiple accounts or just easily changing their name or things like that. So, but cool. Well, I mean,
yeah.
we've kind of touched base on everything tonight, man. I mean, we've talked a lot about, competitive scene, about balance. We've talked a lot about a lot of good things, and especially in terms of where this game should go. Is there anything else that you would want to discuss before we wrap it up for tonight?
I just keep waiting for the spectator mode. I think it's, well, for me it's even bigger than custom games. I mean, like,
Yeah.
because right now with 60 people against 40, it's pretty competitive. I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
40 bots. I mean, like, we still like have a great games, but it's unbelievably hard to make the broadcast for tournament.
Yes. Yeah.
And I tried it to, like, die in the water during the unholy tournament, and every time I was starting spectating randoms, and it was like 14 non-random teams,
Yeah. So you get
so
like assigned a bot that would just be like running
yeah,
in circles or something, right?
yeah. And the problem is the only way to make a broadcast right now is just watch the streams,
Yeah.
which is like not a great experience, like
Absolutely.
you cycling the so it will so we already have a very uh, a lot of tournaments, a lot of people want to do leagues, actually, like, a lot of communities who develop the competitive side of the game. It's already growing,
Yeah.
and in a good state, but we don't have content for this at all.
Well, and you know what this is?
So
I feel like that's a good point because it should be a good priority for high res to really jump on that as soon as possible, especially after customs get settled in, because it's essentially free advertising for their game. Like,
Yeah.
the more content, the more opportunities that they give the community to develop content around their game, which, if you guys didn't know this, the whole reason we started the Realm Roundtable was actually because we were anticipating tournaments to come back, as Hi-Rez said, back in the fall. So the whole reason I started this podcast was because I wanted it to be centered around esports. And you know, it would be so, there's so much content that could be produced and so much discussion that could be had around strategies, around
Yes.
ways you can improve the game, around loadouts, around balance, around all these things, you know. And unfortunately, it's been difficult sometimes to come up with ideas of what we could do this podcast about, because we don't have much, you know, opportunity for that. So, you know, these tournaments and a spectator mode would give us more opportunity to produce content for this game, which essentially is free advertising for the developers. You know,
Yes.
so I think that would be a really great thing for them to add to the game. You know, if they get customs added, I feel like that should be next on their list. Is, you know, we
Yeah, China
absolutely
should
need.
say that they will give spectator mode to the community. We don't know when,
Yeah,
but at least they willing to do it, which is great
yeah,
because with this opportunity, a lot of guys will start those broadcasting thing, and which we have a lack of right now because we have a lot of actually we have more and more good streamers in this game. I can see like people just come to this game, they enjoy it, stream a lot, and we have tournaments. We have pretty much a lot of tournaments. One of the reasons because Hasai is giving a lot of money to the community and supporting it is so. We even have great solo league in NA, great solo league in U. We have Realm.com every week. We have super server tournaments. We have a lot of action in the competition, but we don't have a content for these competitions. Like literally, like it should be like Realm.com should have at least one analytics video after the each tournament. You know, like
yeah,
what
yeah.
went wrong, or like take some fights and try to analyze them, who made the mistakes,
Mm-hmm.
something like this. And for this, we need spectator mode. It's hard to go to each ward and do this. You know, like
Yeah,
it's almost impossible.
yeah. I agree with that, man. That's good. All right. Well, that's pretty much our show tonight, guys. I appreciate, you know, Deathmatch, you taking the time to come out and hang out with us and talk about this, man. Thanks so much for being here, and thank you, chat, for being here and for being on the show. So, and just participating in the discussion. So we appreciate you guys for supporting the podcast and coming out and just dropping some knowledge on us too. So, but thanks again, Deathmatch. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Monty. You are Joe Rogan of Real.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah. I watch his podcast every time. I enjoy it so much.
Yeah, he's definitely a good commentator,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
know, I love his podcast too. So I appreciate
yeah,
that. That means a lot, dude.
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. That's our show tonight. Hang around afterwards for the Battle Pass giveaway, and maybe we'll play some games. So, but I appreciate you all being here. Everyone, have a good night. Peace.
Good night, bye bye.